experience, Shell, Houston, Open, picks, preview, bets, one and done. We got it all covered for you. Geoff Fienberg, he is in studio. We hit a winner.
Yeah,
I hit a winner.
Good for you. Bless you.
I'm so bad at this that when I hit one, it makes me feel so good. You know what else made me feel really good? When my timeline just got flooded with other people that hit winners too. It's the one great thing about betting versus DraftKings in a way, because only one person can win on DraftKings. When it's a bet and everyone has the same bet, everyone wins. That's great news.
Bless you. I always enjoy match play. I know a lot of people don't like it that much. Maybe I would prefer it in a different part of the season, but I really enjoy it. Friday afternoon to me was one of the most exciting Fridays. I mean, it's hard to compare it to a Sunday. Was one of the most exciting Fridays ever, and I get the final,
Let's hold off on that for a second, because I do have some announcements to make about the show that people need to know before we get too far into it.
Yeah.
Give the episode a like. Always goes a long way in keeping the content free. So that's my whole ploy, is that when I give you bad picks, I'm like, it's free. What are you doing listening to free stuff for anyway? Like, you're just tailing random people on the internet. That's crazy. You subscribe to the podcast as well, where you can download podcasts and rate and review. Like I said, winners last week. We hit Bubba, the Kelly Craft Bubba each way, paid 134 to 1. So if you had the ability to do a each way double, which I know not everyone has, but if you did, cha-ching in the Kelly Craft each way really worked out as well. So a nice winning week. Have some Masters money now. I don't want to waste it all on the Shell Houston Open. Well, I'll waste some. I had to hit the cash out button quickly just to get some of the money out, just so I could have it in my bank account. Other notable news here. We got 3 winners from the giveaway last week for the free Millionaire Maker tickets, or the $20 DK bucks. Jensen, Marty Cashin, and Jeff Rickle all have an extra $20 in their DraftKings account. We're doing another one this week for this show and the next show, and there's 2 ways that you can get in. Here's what you need to do. A, you have to be on Twitter. You have to use the hashtag DKShell along with it. Include your DraftKings handle, because that really goes a long way to help out to who actually, and spell it right, because if it's not spelled right, the money won't go into the account. It's just going to be weird. So I'm going to give away like 3 or 4 or 5 prizes of $20 in your account, so you can buy one of those Millionaire Maker entries, which is coming up next week. So it'll be the same as last week. If you want to, you have to go rate, or at least if you want to get in the draw for it, go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, Google Play, wherever. Leave a review for the podcast, preferably 5 stars. If you haven't done that, or if you have done that, go to the Facebook page. Give it a like, send me a quick screenshot, and boom, you're in the draw. If you've done both those things and you're already liking the page, just take a screenshot of the review you've already left, or the like you've already given the Facebook page. That's where the betting cheat sheet is too, so you should really be on that. That's where the each way double came in last week. Late ad, tweeted it out, not everyone saw it. If you had the Facebook page, boom, would have been right up there. And Masters Week begins on Wednesday. I have 10 straight days of Masters coverage. There's going to be so much Masters coverage, you're not going to want any more Masters coverage by the time. But we're going to have after the round recaps, a live sweat show with Fienberg and I. The big Millie Maker preview drops on Thursday with people from all around the DFS golf community contributing to that show. And then Wednesday, to kick it off, myself and Tour Junkies David Barnett break down the course. He used to be a caddy there and has some great insights to everything in terms of how to predict who's going to win, the players to watch out for, and if you're going to Augusta, places to stand, things to buy, food to eat, all that great stuff. All right, let's get back into match play.
Seems like a lot of people are going to the Masters.
I'm not. I wish I was. I'm going to be chained to this desk, sitting here talking into a camera.
Match play, I thought it was, I get it gets very anticlimactic in the final, but the Saturday morning was just outstanding. And I revert back to when we did the pick show last week. You originally brought up Bubba. I was like, Bubba. And then I brought up that incident with like J.B. Holmes, who was like clocking him a couple years ago when he was in a cactus when they were at Dove Mountain. And you really saw it time and time again. You wonder why, whether it's not the caddy or the players, so many times during the week, Pat, you see guys not playing match play. Not having the concept of
Justin Thomas proved that in
was
the semifinal.
That was
stupid.
the perfect example, and that was really a hole that really turned, in my opinion,
it made it over. It's over, as Tim would say.
Yeah, it really did. He didn't look that the hosel Bubba was in. Bubba was going to have to lay up. Justin could have laid up. It could have been a little chipping battle in front of the green. Bubba, as the announcers pointed out, certainly went to look at how Justin was lying.
Bubba gets it. He understands match play. Hatton also understands match play. He just failed to putt over the course of 2 matches.
You know what, though? He even went like, I saw his score versus Cameron Smith. They both scored outstanding. They were 2 little killers. They both had an outstanding score. Smith just hit like one or two like insane bombs, and Hatton struggled from within. And yeah, the announcers give Hatton a hard time for doing the same stuff Jordan Spieth does.
Or the same stuff that Justin Thomas was doing when he was swearing on the greens.
Yep.
No, but no, that's fine though.
Sorry. The most disappointing or scariest moment of I'm going to call him out for it. Justin Thomas on the last hole of the semifinal almost killed somebody.
And didn't say 4.
Didn't say 4. Couldn't even open his mouth. But get in the bunker will get you kicked off the golf course? That was disgraceful. And Justin can kick whoever he wants out, whatever. He's the one that's got to deal with it, especially in Paris this fall. But that was...
Bubba's not going to fare too well in Paris, I don't think. With all the French people getting on his back.
Okay, fine. But you can't even... It was a head-level hosel off of wood that could have killed somebody. And he made an incredible up and down.
He did.
Like, that goes without saying, but come on, man. Come on. That was not cool. But all in all, like I guess a lot of my trolls like to say, just here riding Pat's coattails.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
No, that's too bad. I feel like I ride your coattails. I don't need to bring the energy on these shows because you got all the energy.
Sure. Maybe it's picks-wise. Whatever.
Hey, we got a winner. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, good Masters money. And Shell Houston, is it a minimum exposure week?
Yes.
Because
unless you're really feeling it.
Because next week is maximum exposure. This is almost like going back to Hawaii type exposure for me in terms of like the amount of money I want to put down.
Well, it's a tough field too, and we'll get to the field just because the big names are such heavy favorites, although favorites rarely win here. So it's not a bad week to make prey on that like middle tier.
Yeah, I mean, you going through the past winners, no elite like Masters proverbial favorite or top.
A Masters qualifier hasn't won Houston the past 4 years.
Yeah, and
so everyone's won and got in.
Phil in 2011 would be the last like guy that people going into the couple weeks before the Masters that people thought, oh, he can win the Masters.
But Phil even openly admits now that he's not even coming to Houston to win.
Oh, that's, yeah.
You can read my DKPlaybook.com column right now, or go to that Facebook page. It's up there. Yeah. And there's quotes from Phil being like, yeah, I don't really care about winning this week. I'm just hitting it to where I need to hit it because I know the shot at the Masters that I need to hit, and I want to practice that.
That being said, I do believe if any, we'll go through the favorites, but all these favorites, I wouldn't be concerned if they won, like blowing their Masters load. If, say, like a mid-level player wins.
Like if Sharma won?
Sure. Is Sharma won?
Or Rafa?
Yeah, that would probably be a bit concerning. Although Rafa, as I mentioned to you, won the Scottish just days before the Open Championship.
And then didn't win the Open Championship.
Well, yes, he didn't win the Open Championship.
All right, so before we get into that, I do want to talk about Masters just for a second because the DraftKings Millionaire Maker pricing is out. Like I mentioned, Thursday, it's a giant show. And it's going to have everything covered. And the kickoff, like I said, Wednesday again, course breakdown, all that fun stuff. The article will be up Sunday night. Bet365 normally waits until Monday to update the odds and give us an each way of T6. This morning I wake up, the odds are updated, and the each way bet is top 8 in an 82-person field.
Incredible. And you could thank Tiger.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you, Tiger.
Well, we know it's a lot of things. We can thank Tiger. We can thank Phil for winning. We can thank Bubba for winning. And Rory for winning. And all of these guys who were expected to do well at the Masters that were like, we were getting better odds on them because they hadn't flashed any form. Or, hell, Tiger can't play. He can't bend down to pick up a ball. Phil can't win. Then all of a sudden this happens, and it pushes everyone to the top of the board. Then there's no middle tier. And then there's just, on top of the other bets that I had already made, like I have Bubba at 50-1. He ain't finding that number no more. I think it's down to 14 or 12-1. But Adam Scott right now on Bet365 is 66-1.
Yeah,
I made that instantly. I saw that number. I was like, oh, I'll each way that. For sure.
And you already had the 50.
I had the 50, but now I have a 66 with the top 8 each way, which is nice.
We're seeing a lot of drift. We'll maybe save it for the Masters show, just in small ways discussing how it's really... we sat at Christmas and, we threw at some Masters things. And it's amazing, what it takes to move a guy in certain directions. And some of them worked out well and others...
Spieth is down to 14. If he misses the cut this week, he might get down to 18.
He went off at the match play at 18. He went off at Thursday morning before he had a tee in the ground, or Wednesday night, I saw an 18 on standard
Oh,
books
at
here.
match play.
Yeah, match play. Sorry, not the Masters. And I get there's a bit of a wild card format, and
Well,
everyone's
if he misses the cut this week, no one's going to want to bet him, and that number is going to drop. You start giving me in like the 20-1 range, I was going to bet Jordan Spieth 7-1 anyway.
Yeah.
Boom. You know, well, Tim is already basically guaranteed he's not even going to make the cut at Augusta, so this is just great news. Can't win there. Impossible.
And yeah, it's incredible to get the each ways as deep as they are, and every book is kind of competing with each other because they know that.
You said you saw each way top 10s.
Over in England, books that we don't have access to. At least my Canadian accounts.
Yeah, I don't have it
They
either.
wouldn't even let me set up an account, but someone mentioned to me that their books over there are offering each ways to the T10, which is incredible.
The only other one that I did want to make note of before we get into Shell is Kevin Chappell. He withdrew from his match because he said his back hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why he's taking this week off to get ready for the Masters. Now, I injured my back on the weekend. I'm still kind of stiff. So if I just didn't do much for like 4 days, I feel like I'd be a lot better. I'm not too concerned about it. And Chappell has now dropped to 150
I am
on
concerned.
Bet365.
Just
So I
'cause
took the top 8 each way. The guy's been good at the Masters.
He has been
in 2 events.
He is my favorite. I mean, before that injury news, he is my favorite bet north of 100 to 1.
But he's 150. Who cares if he's hurt? Then
No,
you waste
yeah, that's
the
what
10
I mean.
bucks.
Like, of all those guys, like, I look at his skill set, the courses that he's really excelled at in the past, like, of all those guys, I really thought he would be my favorite. So it's a bit of a damper to hear that he's battling anything, to not be just ready to go fully for the Masters, but hoping for the best.
And if people want to say that having money on things does not drive ratings whatsoever, I watched a good 2 hours of the Punta Cana resort, just hoping Kelly Craft could get in, post a number, and then I watched the rest of it to see all the rest of the losers around him bogey out to make sure he solidified his top 5. That's what having money on something will do to you.
And the match play was so horrible finals.
Yeah.
That-
Although Kevin Kisner was still making putts.
Yeah.
Somehow he couldn't win.
Back to, I mean, he's kind of feels unbettable now at the Masters, and people
Listen, I won't say that he's unbettable. It's just,
sure.
You should have got your number better 3 months ago.
And even the morning at Riv, people were like, I'm parlaying.
That's what I did it.
No, but people parlayed the live Riv with,
With the
Bubba
Masters?
at the Masters.
That's smart. I should have done that. I just bet the
A
Masters that
handful
day.
of people. I was like, nah, screw
He was still 50-1 then.
Also, I'm so stubborn because I had Cantley and Finau that morning. So I was like, no, I don't want to buy into anyone else.
And that was the week I said I was going to bet Bubba, and then I was like, nah, I can't do it.
Because of the All-Star game.
Yeah, because the All-Star game talked me out of it, and I was
shit.
like, ah.
But oh my God. I mean, when you made the case for him last week, everything you mentioned, you saw it this weekend. Off the tee, the chipping, the putting. I don't recall a single 3-putt. I mean, yeah, there was a bogey, but that's because he couldn't get up and down from certain places, what have you.
That course, man, Herman made it out of his group. Phil had made it out of his group the past 2 years, and Bubba's made it out the past 2 years.
And Hadwin gagged so hard, he almost could have if you're going to the lefty thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that course is set up for left-handers, just like the Masters is, just like Riviera is. For whatever reason, Mike Weir has won at Riviera in the Masters, for Christ's sake.
Bubba hit some of the chips he was hitting from bad lies.
And you could see it. He was happy on the court. He was in a happy place.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And we need to start really focusing in on this Kevin Kisner at Pete Dye courses. He now has a match play loss at Houston. He has a playoff loss at the Players, a playoff loss at Heritage, and a playoff loss at Zurich.
His form was horrible.
Yeah.
People on the Wednesday, people wanted to just bet Hadwin just in a picking on Kisner. And Kisner actually missed like a 4 or 5 footer for the win in that match, which
saved Hadwin
they have.
for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought match play was great. The finals gets out of hand, but when you have money on the finals, you're not sort of like...
No, I was like, keep piling these in, Bubba.
Entertaining doesn't matter. And I guess we can't not speak of match play. I'm so excited for Alex Noren at the Masters. I know the course doesn't really suit him, but oh my God.
I would be... what are his Masters odds?
I don't know. I got an 80, and I'm
You have an 80? Well, that's a great number. You're not getting that number anymore.
I'm giddy.
I might look forward to Karnowski.
Yeah.
I think he's still 50 there right now. I might get jumping. I don't have any Open Championship bets on the board. I only have one U.S. Open bet on the board. Jacksonville money line plus Rory. Let's go.
He wasn't like how he. There was about that stretch where he couldn't hit those putts versus Kisner. That felt like gimmies for him.
Does it worry you that every time that we've seen Noren in contention, he's gagged it every single time? Farmers, couldn't beat Day.
JB Holmes' fault.
Stayed with him, but he also had like 6 playoff holes to beat Jason Day. Couldn't convert it. When you need to make those putts down the stretch at Honda, those like 8-footers.
And I was there. And then he had the birdie putt. He couldn't.
And then he got the terrible lie in the bunker, which is unfortunate. But he had opportunities at other spots to do it. Here, he could have closed out Kisner 8 times and couldn't do it. It worries me a little bit. I think that he's close to that breakthrough. I wish he was here this week.
I don't. I would have
bet him this week.
I would have lost.
I would have bet Hatton this week.
I can't lie. I was actually panicking at the concept of him winning.
Why?
How much have I bet him?
Oh, and you didn't have him.
And I didn't have him. And he had that pot of death with Finau, who also played well. He just got out Norrined. Peters, who sucks. Like, he just got blown up by all of them. And Kevin Na. And then out of the pods, my road for him was having to beat, was Reed, which he mopped. And then I thought he'd have to play Hatton instead of Smith.
Yeah, he played Smith.
Just his road in general scared the bejesus out of me. But he was a killer.
My guy Kyle Stanley put in work this week. I thought he was going to beat JT.
Great work. Great work. He had that Howell match, right?
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Well, we'll talk about Chucky 3 Sticks here because he needs to win to get into the Masters. And all of a sudden flashing some form. And this is the year of guys who can't win winning. Maybe it's Chucky's time. We'll see. Let's get into the Shell Houston Open, talk about the course a little bit. It's a lengthier course, over 7,400 yards. A lot of people will talk about how this is set up to mimic Augusta. In certain ways, there's not a ton of rough, so that's nice. It's shaved around the greens. That's nice. It's bent grass, the first bent grass we're going to see all year long. I think that's why a lot of guys are here.
Well, they do that on purpose.
Yeah.
They're not idiots.
Yeah, but the one big thing that is a stark contrast to Augusta is there's a lot of holes this week that are either really short, and you do not take driver off the tee, and there's a ton of water all over this course, the second most water balls of any course on tour behind TPC Southwind. So you're going to have to lay up off the tee a little bit, hit some 3-woods, like Phil even talked about. Like the optimal strategy here a lot of the time is to take out an iron off the tee, get yourself onto the right side of the fairway to get your right angle. It's not hitting driver, but he's going to hit driver off every hole because at the Masters, you hit driver off every hole. So you have to work on your shot shapes for that. It depends on what your purpose is here. So I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of the top guys don't win. I mean, it could just be random chance, too. Like, Justin Rose tends to play really well here. We've seen DJ play well, Henrik Stenson, Ricky, these sorts of guys.
Last year, Ricky was cruising. And what happened?
Also, Sung Kang was winning by like 30 strokes at one point.
Yes, but last year, Ricky was just in full control. And what happened? Couldn't come home clean Saturday.
Big shocker. That's really been his Achilles heel. Like the back 9 on Saturday, he just gags the tournament
I could
away.
list so many tournaments where it feels like...
It happened at Phoenix this year, too.
It happened
at Honda
at
for
the
sure.
PGA Championship last year. It happened a week ago.
It happened at API.
Yeah, he's 11 under.
He was in it, and then he wasn't
We're going out for dinner. My wife has no clue what I mean. I'm like, if Ricky could just come home clean. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm just come home clean. No. Okay.
It's hard to get up and down here. Scrambling is incredibly difficult at this course, but hitting greens in regulation is rather easy, although it has the second lowest proximity of any course on approach shots from beyond 100 yards, which is not great. So lag putting is going to be key. The big thing is, though, is that putts from within 10 feet, easiest on tour. So that's also something that doesn't quite mimic Augusta, that the closer you get to the hole, the flatter the green gets. I hear at the Masters that's not the case. And the bent grass isn't exactly the same type of bent grass. This is like mini verde with POA trivials. I don't even know exactly what that means. I just know it's different. It's not pure bent grass. So for key stats, I'm looking at strokes gained ball striking above all else, par 4 scoring, proximity from beyond 175 yards, par 4 scoring from 450 to 500 yards. There are 4 of those on the course. There are 4 of the hardest holes on the course. There's some shorter par 4s where you can kind of make it up, but you need to play those basically an even par or better if you want to have a chance of winning. And when we look back at the past winners, we got Russell Henley. We got some Jim Herman, who thanked Trump immediately after he won. JB Holmes had that lights out Sunday when he went and posted a number and beat Jordan Spieth in a playoff. I think he beat Vaughn Taylor, Johnson Wagner that year too. One of those losers was in the playoff. And Matt Jones won the year before. I think that's when he beat Kuchar. Remember he chipped in from the bunker in a playoff? I think that was this tournament. It could be another Matt Jones win. I don't really remember. But if you win and you're not currently in the Masters, it's the only hope you have to play Augusta next week is to win this tournament. And we've seen it happen 4 years in a row. And I believe there are 16 of them, Masters invitees, in the field this week.
Yeah,
not to say that I'm not going to bet them or anything, but it's just an interesting factoid that's popped up over the years.
And I guess we'll get to it later, but quickly. So does that mean you're betting Brandt Snedeker or not betting Brandt Snedeker?
I haven't decided yet. I feel like I should.
You got the last
even if it's
chance.
even if it's $10, he's 75 to 1. Who cares?
You said the greens are pure 10 feet in.
Yeah, but
Shouldn't miss a putt.
Yeah, but that
means no one else. You're right. That takes away his advantage.
That takes away his big advantage.
Yeah. Sorry.
And once you see some of the people that I've already bet,
I get it.
not the strongest putters. Put it that way.
They just gotta
Although maybe Luke List found something against Justin Thomas because when he broke his putter and started putting with his wedge, lights out.
Can I also say something about Justin? And maybe this is an unfair thing to say. I don't think until he played Bubba, he played anybody worth anything the entire
Kyle
tournament.
Stanley. How dare you? He played a Luke List.
Nobody's.
Luke List.
He didn't have a
The
single
winner
match.
of the Shell Houston Open, Luke List.
I hope so, but he didn't play a single match. And he ran into Bubba.
He also ran train on everyone.
Everyone.
Like he was winning 7 and 6. I still think he finished with more DraftKings points than Bubba did because he was blowing everyone out.
I don't think he saw the 18th hole the whole week.
Ah. Interesting. All right, let's get into the field. The top end, at the very top, we got Ricky Fowler and Justin Rose as your co-favorites at 10 to 1. Then we have Jordan Spieth and Phil at 11, Henrik Stenson at 12. And then there is a precipitous drop-off in what is happening here. We have Daniel Berger at 28. Who else do we have? Tony Finau and Luke List at 30 to 1. Russell Henley at 35 to 1. Steve Stricker, winner of 2 consecutive events, he comes in at 41. Matt Kuchar's 40 to 1. Benny Ann is 40 to 1. Rafa Cabrera-Bello is 30 to 1. So we have that distinct top tier of the top 5 favorites here. I like Justin Rose the best of them. I'm not going to bet any of them. They're too short for me, but I like Justin Rose if I had to take one. What do you think?
I mean, he's contended every single week.
He has 9 top 10s in his past 5 starts. The one thing...
Here.
No, in overall. The only time he didn't top 10 was Mexico.
Yeah, I think then you said it weird.
No, 9 top 10s in his last 10 starts.
Sorry, yeah.
Is what I meant to say. The weird thing is if you look at him and you see that his past 2 performances, API and Valspar, he gained over 6.5 strokes putting in each of those tournaments. But the rest of his game is still fine. Yeah. It's just weird that he's gaining that many strokes and not winning.
Valspar, he had an incredible, I don't want to say lucky Saturday, but he had some insane holeouts and stuff that kind of vaulted him into contention, and he couldn't get anything going on the Sunday. He's been the most consistent. Ricky will have a great couple rounds.
Is this when Ricky wins, though? When he's the favorite, no one wants to play him, and just, Ricky won by 8.
Of the favorites, I would probably lean to Ricky and maybe even Spieth.
I was going to say Stenson. I am praying for Jordan Spieth to have a bad week. That's all I want.
My only concern with Rose and Phil is of these favorites, and even Spieth, I would power rank them the highest as most mentally just at Augusta.
Rose came 3rd last year, I think. 3rd or 5th, no, 15th last year, sorry. Maybe he is checked out, but he plays this tournament, then he goes to Augusta and plays well.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's almost like you almost feel like he doesn't want, I don't want to say not want to win. That's a really silly thing to say. And again, all these guys, it wouldn't have any negative effect to me on their Masters.
No.
Because I look at wins as so finite that to bust your load.
Do you even need to see form? If you look at Jordan Spieth this week and he plays disastrously, is that going to scare you from Jordan Spieth? It won't for me. I know who Jordan Spieth is right now. He's a guy who's gaining an incredible amount of strokes tee to green and can't putt.
Yeah.
And maybe now that we're back on bent grass, maybe all of a sudden he can putt again.
Because this is also a limited exposure week for me, there's just no way to play the top.
Either you bet one of these guys and just leave everyone else off the table, or sprinkle around that money on 2 or 3, 4 guys down the card. I think that's the move. Unless you really feel like Henrik Stenson's going to win.
I don't know. I'm sure some people might try to parlay one of these guys this week with some sports, but I don't know.
All right, so nothing for you from that range?
Nothing from me, but I would be less inclined to take, as silly as it sounds, Rose and Phil, because I believe of everybody, they're totally Augusta. And of all these guys, I wonder, are you not just better off playing Thursday and Friday at the Masters than being here?
What do you mean? Oh, like going to Augusta?
Yeah, I know they all have their own, however they feel better suits them. But wouldn't wouldn't Stenson playing Thursday and Friday?
I think you
practice
forget,
rounds.
These guys really like money. You always forget that part of it.
That simple thing. Yeah, big checks. And they're lucky no one else is here. I'll just make some money.
And I think there's a distinct difference between going to Augusta and playing some practice rounds and then getting your reps in a live competitive event, too. You can sit there at Augusta and take 4 shots from one spot in your practice round if you want to, work on some things. But if you actually have to hit the shot in a tournament, I think that helps a little bit more. At least that's my mentality. And I think Phil feels that way too. That's why he always plays the week before the majors.
Always. And Fowler has also. Like, he's always at the Scottish Open. That's a Fowler thing too. Maybe he took it from Phil. Except he doesn't have wins at the majors.
No, he doesn't. Maybe though.
His drift hard. If he can have a good week, it can kill some of his drift.
Do you want his drift to go away though?
No, but
he's at 20-1 now.
I'm seeing it even like 24s. I'm just saying, like, some of my parlays are going to be what he's going to go off at.
I still don't understand how Ricky has better odds than Sergio for the Masters. I just don't get it.
I think it's just maybe what they take.
I guess so. Yeah, people like betting on Ricky.
And Sergio, when I was in the week of the Honda, he was still flirting with 40s and 50s.
Yeah, he's down to 25 now.
Clear, yeah.
All right, so the rest of them, this back end of the top 10, we got, like I said, Berger, Rafa, Henley, Kuchar, Finau, Luke List is up there. I haven't made too many bets so far, but if you know that Luke List is in a field where putting gets easier the closer you get to the hole, you know that I'm going to be in on Luke List. Looking at the stat model right now, guess who's number 1 almost no matter what rounds you sort by? It's Luke List. He's top 10 in birdies or better gain, number 2 in ball striking, number 1 tee to green. He is top 20 in both proximity from 175 to 200 and 200 yards plus. This reminds me of last year.
Doesn't
and
it?
now Luke List is going to come like dead last after I say this. But we all talked ourselves off of Russell Henley in this exact same spot. He's trending towards a win.
28-1.
And now his number has just been cut. Like, I'm never touching Russell Henley there. Yeah. I know the same thing is going to happen with Luke List. And even when you look at his DraftKings price, $9,600. No one's going to want to pay for that. I'm on team Luke List. Luke List is my guy. I'm going in on Luke List.
I'm not always on Luke List, but I am. And I'm fearful that we're all just suckers this year because of what happened last year with Henley. And like everyone who
Chapel
does
too.
One of these shows, I recorded it with Zach at the team of Fantasy Golf Insiders. Just like, can't do it. Can't do it. I don't bet Russell Henley at 28-1. I don't care. Or whatever it was, 33. Luke List statistically is playing at an elite level. And unlike these elite golfers, he hasn't won on, he's got nothing about the Masters.
If he wins, he will.
Sure, but he's not working on a shot for next week.
No, he's trying to win.
He just wants to win. I think he would be, correct me if I'm wrong, there are some young players, but, Cantley got his. Is there a player more, to win next who's never won before? I'm not saying guys on hiatuses that have won this year. Zero PGA Tour wins.
I'm going to say, even Finau doesn't qualify because he won the Puerto Rico Open. But he's looking for a real win.
Yeah, Finau to me is kind of in a similar situation to Luke List this week, except Finau kind of comes in at these numbers often because there's a portion of people, sometimes I'm guilty of it, that can't get off
I still might talk myself into Tony Finau.
Yeah, he's been playing fine, and I thought he had a good match play. He was all squared with Noren 2-0 on the Friday elimination match, and he got beat by the guy that pretty much beat everybody. So I thought he was playing great over in Austin, and I think the way you explain this course and those 10-footers, man, it's got to work for him. He's an Augusta debutant. He's just looking to win this week.
Yeah, I don't expect much from Tony Finau.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about List and Finau for the most part.
So over the last 24 rounds, I ran my custom model on fantasynational.com, which you can do too if you become a member at fantasynational.com. I'd wait till Wednesday, though, if you just want to test the waters, buy the weekly pack, because then you get Shell and you get the Masters.
There you go.
You rig the system a little bit.
Go.
You get both tournaments in there. That's the move. It's only $7 for a weekly membership.
Yeah.
Or just buy the yearly one, $200. A lot of people are doing it. These guys are winning big money using Fantasy National. Not me. Actually, I did last week because it spit out Bubba. I rigged it so it would spit out Bubba for me. But you can rig it any way you want. Super customizable. Easy to use, too. So my top 10 over the past 24 rounds in the stats that I have. Luke List, James Hahn, Phil Mickelson, Justin Rose, Jordan Spieth, Stenson, Kokrak, Benny Ann, Keegan Bradley, Scott Piercy, then your main man, Rafa Cabrera-Bello. And then Harkins, number 12. So the point was, in turning it back to Finau, Finau's 15 there. He's number 1 in greens, 4th tee to green, 9th in strokes gained approach over that time. He's not scoring on the par 5s. And we've talked, but he's getting better because he was like 130th at one point. It's like, what are you doing, Tony? You're on in 2 every time. What's happening here?
It's truly the most amazing thing that he will not score on the par 5, but hit that 26-footer for birdie on the next hole, the par 3.
Yeah. So I do, if you want to invest in Finau, and people will be able to see it when I post it on my Facebook page, facebook.com/thepme, that I might talk myself into Finau by week's end. But I really like Benny Ann. I'm a sucker for Benny Ann.
Yeah, and I was going to say, those greens, I mean, it works to him. And the way he's
playing well, too, man.
He seems to be on a green and reg, like, very often. And when his putter works,
let's see,
he can go.
Greens and reg, he is 21st in this field, against the field, over the past 24
I thought
rounds.
it would be stronger, but I will say that this number, there were a couple vents recently where I was surprised at how low his number was. Like he's been stuck at this 40 number, but that was at like even in Mexico and some other really strong ones, like API, I think even. And I saw this field and this number, and that kind of did stick out to me. But those 10-footers...
Well, let me ask you, who would you rather bet? Byung-Hun An or Steve Stricker?
Stricker's playing for the Masters too.
Yeah.
Stricker crushing it. Tiger Woods type Champions Tour odds. He's the new Bernard Langer over there. Move over. A second, a first, a first.
It's not a bad run. Freddie Couples isn't playing. He's playing the Masters, but he hasn't been playing on the Champions Tour. Generally, he does that.
He's hurt. Maybe he's literally like...
broken back. He has Kevin Chappell back?
No, but just like he got hurt, and he's like, I'm not doing anything
Until
but
the
the
Masters.
Masters. Like, yeah.
I usually bet Freddie to make
I don't know. I would say Byung-Hun An. I would. Because doesn't that 10-footer mean less to Stricker like it means less to Snedeker now that it's so easy?
I think, listen, you still have to make the putts. I'm not guaranteeing you Byung-Hun
Yeah,
An
but
sets over
these
an
guys that
8-footer and makes it.
But I'm just saying, these guys that normally are the difference makers for them, this course sets them up to have a better chance at succeeding.
I think so, too. Especially if you're hitting, like you mentioned, a lot of greens and reg, because up and down is tough here. Scrambling is difficult at the Golf Club of Houston. So you just have to hit your greens in regulation, don't 3-putt.
And you like him better than Rafa?
I think I do. I like the number better than I like Rafa's number. And I like that he's not in the Masters, to be perfectly honest with you. And Rafa's in.
Yeah, and Rafa, like I said, he won the week before Major, before the Open.
Rafa played well here last year, too.
He often plays well.
That's true.
And he's had great form of late, and he got married a few weeks ago, and he's continued that great form.
He missed the cut last year. He was 4th year before here. That's what I'm remembering.
And because that was off of his big match play run, where he lost in that semifinal.
Yeah, did he get out of the group?
No, it was not Phil. It was X.
Yeah, X got out. My pick, X. Don't give it to
No,
you.
Sergio got out.
Was that group?
Yeah, they had a great match. Sorry.
No, he was in the Phil group.
Sorry, who are we talking about?
Rafa,
Phil.
Cam Snow. It was someone weird got out of that group.
Barnrat? No, he got out of the ROM group, did Barnrat. Oh my God. Rafa, Phil. Someone weird got out of it.
Charles Howell.
Someone weird.
The unbeatable Charles Howell.
Yeah. Charles Howell.
So I like Ben Ann at 40. I'm not fully committed to that yet. Like I haven't bet it yet, but I do like that number. It's something that I'm eyeing. The thing about Rafa, when we go back and look at it, and this really disgusted me as someone who pays attention to a lot of the numbers as it's going on, and it happened at WGC Mexico. They were talking about, like, if Rafa Cabrera-Bello could ever putt, he would be in it. He gained 10 strokes putting in Mexico. And they talk about it every single week. He's not a terrible putter. He has some bad weeks. But that specific week, the only reason he was in contention is because he was making every putt. And then he misses one. It's like, oh, yeah, he can't putt, though. Makes me mad.
I feel like a sucker because I came into the morning thinking, like a lot of people, it's an Otto Henley play. And I'm surrounded.
Are we talking ourselves out of Henley again?
Yeah, I feel like I've just, in the last 10 minutes, like, I don't know if I'm going to bet Henley anymore, like a few other guys.
I'm not, but I'm really not looking forward to him winning again. This is the Russell Henley Open.
Yeah.
Basically.
Although, a guy playing really poorly, but his number wouldn't really tell you that, is Berger. And outside of that course where he's won twice, this might be his favorite place on tour.
He does have a good course history.
And he loves the Bermuda grass, and people
This
sleeping...
isn't Bermuda, though. This is bent.
Sorry. He loves the bent grass, and people sleeping... He could be a sneaky DraftKings play based on, like, he sucked at match play, which he's always been bad at. Which surprises me for a guy at, like, 13-year-old was winning for straight cash only versus pros.
Well, he came 14th in Mexico before the match play, but he gained 6 strokes putting, lost strokes off the tee, lost strokes with approach. Like, his game's just, unless he's putting the lights out, it's not very good.
But he has been...
Just one problem. He's not any good.
But his results haven't been bad.
No. 29th. Let's see. So far this year, 11th, 14th, 11th, miscut, 29th, 14th. Yeah, you're right.
They've been good. On that note, because he's way down on the list, do you know who, as of today, isn't in on points on USA Ryder Cup?
Kuchar?
No, but this player's better than Kuchar.
Better than Kuchar? The almighty Peter Uihlein? JB Holmes?
No, I'm talking about a good player.
That's down on this list?
That isn't on the USA Ryder Cup team
is
as
down,
of now.
But is down on this.
Oh, no, that is... Like they're
I think
down,
of people on this field.
They're in this field, and they are currently not an automatic Ryder Cup berth.
Spieth?
Ricky Fowler.
Oh yeah.
So what happens? You don't win. It's been over a year, buddy.
He'll get on the team.
I'm just saying, it's crazy.
If Phil plays himself onto the team, that opens up one of the captain's picks.
I believe he'll be on the team. I believe he's talent worthy. I'm shocked.
Bubba's basically on the team now.
Done.
By the way.
Done. And that was being gone last year. You didn't get a single point, probably. Well, not nothing, but last year, it's a double-year scoring system. I was just amazed, but yeah, that's what happens.
So no interest in Henley. Any interest in Kuchar?
Playing better. 100-1 Masters number still sort of lurking out there.
Is it 100-1?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Scary.
Yeah. Do you like him here at 40? I don't.
I don't.
He does play those long par fours really well, but I have someone who's basically a Kuchar mold type player way down the list that I'm just going to bet instead. So.
I think I know who it is, but I'll say.
I already told you who it was. So.
Well, and it's underlined.
Grillo, 60-1.
He's really...
No for Grillo?
You got interest in Grillo?
No, I don't. But Sharma?
Does Duffner do anything for you?
Duffner is weird here.
Because if you like Ann and you like a lot of the things we've been saying about a lot of these other players, Duffner kind of fits that bill better than some of them.
It worries me that he doesn't have a sponsor on his hat. It really does. Get a sponsor or just don't wear a hat.
No, you wear the hat.
You could be like Ollie.
Get a sponsor.
Why does he hate money so much?
You said James Hahn, but I'm seeing your boy Sung Shu Han.
Yeah, I was on him last week. I believe he's the world number 81
Is James Hahn not here?
No, James Hahn's here. He's 90-1, I think.
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, it's not bad. He's going to be a part of the Pat Scrub Pack. We went back to the Scrubs this week after having all the success by betting good players at low numbers.
But you got a good player at a high number. It's an unfair way to gauge it.
Yeah, but I finally hit a winner.
No, but I mean,
now I'm going to go back to betting these losers
you tried to go
win.
lower, and you couldn't hit one, but Bubba was just, you got a big number on an elite guy.
Sure, but I like Ann. I like List, like I said. I'm going to talk myself into Finau, I'm sure.
What about, I was looking for someone who wasn't even on one of my books.
I'm curious about Charles Howell. I really am, because there's two guys in this field at deeper numbers who never win in the year that the non-winner wins, playing pretty well right now and have excellent course history. One is Charles Howell, the other one's Keegan Bradley. They're both just, and it's the recent form from Charles Howell that I really like to see. Plus, he has 3 top 10s in his past 5 starts here. And then you look at Keegan Bradley, who's number 1 tee to green over the past 50 rounds. And if we're talking about a course where putting theoretically matters less, or at least it's normalized a little bit, why not?
Bradley got punked so hard at match play.
He won in one of the matches, didn't he?
Yeah, but he lost on 18.
He was, for the week, he was 0-1-2, and his total win-loss was down 1 hole.
Yeah, I believe it, because it was all on 18. He blew one to Rahm, which saved the early half day.
That was really awful.
Insanely awful. And Barnrat in a winner advance match, I believe, on the Friday, took him out on 18. I don't know. Lack of close there. What's his outright, though?
66.
He's been putting it up. In that same number,
Charles Howell's 50, by the way.
I'll raise you both of them on Dylan Fratelli.
Why? Why? What's everyone's fascination with Fratelli? That he's from Texas and now he's playing in Texas?
Yeah, he's really good. And
He's not from Texas, but you know what I mean.
I think he's really good. I think he's a really good golfer. To me, it's Europe. He brings win equity to a field with a lot of random players where elite players haven't won.
He's in the Masters already.
He is, based on his world ranking.
And I'm not even sure if he's in this field or not.
That's also true. At the moment of recording, it's a bit, we are uncertain.
Yeah, so some books have him listed. He's in the DraftKings system, but other sites don't have him listed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm just not a big Fratelli backer. Maybe I'm way off on this, but I get it. He's 60-1. I'd rather take my loser Keegan Bradley.
And that was Keegan and Charles. I mean, CH3, those are the two never winners you were referring to?
Yeah. And I'm in on Bradley. I haven't made a decision yet on CH3. Sounds like sunk money, though.
What about Patrick Rogers?
If he was going to win, wouldn't he have won last week?
Yeah. I don't know.
I prefer Lovemark to Rogers.
You could be onto something there. I mean, Lovemark list. You got to be on. You have to at least have Lovemark in like a T5 or something.
Why? I don't got to do anything.
No, but I feel like you are like when I was at the Honda and Lovemark list were like in first
I didn't have
place.
Lovemark though.
I was like, oh
I
my
had
God.
list. I didn't have Lovemark.
These are Pat's guys.
From that range, Thomas Peters at 50. You mentioned it. He's just not playing well.
Not playing, but the number. This is the number we usually see him at when he has to beat like everybody.
Yes.
So based on that, you can go for it. But I mean, this guy is just getting blown off the golf course. Not for me.
You know who rates out really well for me? Ryan Palmer. Texas guy.
Texas.
I can't remember if this is his home course or Colonial's his home course.
I think it's Colonial.
One of them he plays really poorly at. Whatever one is his home course, he sucks at. But ball striking wise, he rates out really well. Snedeker, Colley, another Texas guy. I don't want to dip too far below that until like the... So the guys that I probably will end up being on from here. I'm thinking about Palmer. I'm going to be in on Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk has a second place finish here before, by the way. And again, he just continues to strike the ball well, can't putt. Maybe that can flip around for him this week. And at least we know he can win, right?
Yeah.
Where did you hit him at? I think it was at Colonial. So he can win in Texas. That's another big boon for him. In 75.
What is insanely high number for like a guy like Shane Lowry, you know?
2 missed cuts history at this event. Like, is Shane Lowry playing well? I don't think he is.
He's playing horribly. Paul Dunn would be the
Paul Gatordun.
Irishman of choice there.
So yeah, Chris Kirk for me. I'll think about Duffner some more. I'll probably put $5-10 on Brant Snedeker's because I said I almost like the Siwoo thing that I will. I was feeling Siwoo there for a bit. I think he was 27. I think he was up 27 on the front 9 in the 3 rounds. Every time it was early in the morning, you'd log into like the
He's up 3.
You just up 5. Siwoo Kim.
Good for him. He just had that draw where he ran into JT in the first bracket.
He's live at the Masters.
What's his number at these
250
days?
right now. I bet it this morning.
That's pretty live.
With the top 8 each way. Not that he clinches that each way all that often. He'll either be in last or in first.
My Kirdash huge one has just been crashing.
What's that down to?
It's like 90.
Is it really?
Yeah, like 100. But he can't win the Masters.
I mean, he could.
That'd be so much fun.
It would be pretty funny.
Do you know him and Bubba are good friends?
Really?
Yeah.
Does Kirdash even speak English?
Yeah, he does. They play. Obviously, they played each other yesterday in. It would have been
2 days ago.
Okay, 2 days ago. And, okay, it seems like kind of random. And through that, it's come out they're good buddies. Because Bubba always goes to those random, like, Thailand events, right?
Why does he go to those?
I don't know, but he's like, me and Kirdash are good friends. He goes to his house. He's met his family. Like, they're buddies. So it was funny that they were playing each other. But, yeah. Hunter Mahan, 200-1, little Texas guy. Do anything for you?
You asked me about... It seems like you really want to bet Hunter Mahan.
That was the subfield last week, where he got off to a good start. But no, I'm not really into Hunter. but I know we're both going to have some Sun Kang money.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones I saw, and that's just a pure gut play.
He had the, 5-stroke lead here last year?
He was putting the lights out, and you could see that it was going to go the other way. But I was encouraged by how he saved my ass on a Rory lineup on DraftKings at API. I owe it to him at 175 to 1. Why not? Now he's shown he can play well at this course. He's really good from beyond 200 yards, too. I think that's what saves him here. So guys that I am in on, I mentioned Kirk. I'm already in on Kirk at 75. I'm in on William McGirt at 110. I said there's lesser Kuchar at way better odds in this field. It's William McGirt, who's starting to get the uptick a little bit. Historically, not a great bent putter, but we did see him make a run at the Masters last year, so I think he's going to be fine. Very good on par fours from 450 to 500 yards, too. He might get eaten up on the short ones by some of the longer hitters, but I think they compete on those ones, so I do like William McGirt a little bit, and I like that number a lot.
I'm not going to argue there.
The other guys I had circled that I just wanted to talk about, Hahn was one of them at 80. I'll probably end up riding him just as a little bit.
It seems like a strong number for how well he's been striking it.
Yeah.
And if you can find the green here, you can maybe get a few extra to drop.
Could this be the week of Jason Kokrak?
What do we got?
70.
You said that I was hoping for higher, but that makes sense.
Results for Jason Kokrak.
He's been very strong.
8th, 31st, 35th, 20th, 8th miscut. That's not terrible. History at the Shell, 71st, 68th, miscut, 9th, miscut.
How about
Go ahead.
a guy who's...
Here's a guy.
The last two tournaments he's played, he got off in the final group at 140 to 1.
I will be betting Corey Connors, first round leader.
That's it?
Yeah. Have you seen how he's played it? And I'm going to be active. If he makes it to the final group again, I will be actively picking on him in a head-to-head. I don't care if it's minus 200 on the other side. As I told you before, what happens with Corey Connors is that he's Canadian. So when he tunes into Canadian television and he's still the low Canadian in the field, they list him as having won, so he just thinks he's won, even when he comes T13.
He's also Canadian, so he just wants the other guys to play well.
Yeah, just have a great time.
Oh, I'll take fourth.
Yeah, you'll have this one, eh? I'll take fourth. Good payday.
I guess it's just a big number, and I just want to say Valspar and Puerto Rico, or Puerto Rico, you couldn't think of two different courses, right?
Punta Cana.
So he just seems to be a hot golfer.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I watched a little bit of it. I didn't do a whole lot of Punta Cana research. I said, bet Kelly Craft, and he almost won.
Almost. Second? Third.
Bryce Garnett was
unstoppable,
lights out.
Yeah.
If you had sorted by Paslam grass on Fantasy National, it spit out Bryce Garnett. I did not do that, though.
Romo
looking good. Mike Weir was challenging his scores, and Mike Weir made the cut.
I saw
and then he went full Romo on the weekend.
What do you mean challenging Romo's scores?
I think on the weekend he was +8 or something like that in each round.
Every time I saw Romo, he's missing these 6-foot putts.
Man, he made 140 footer.
Yeah, but that's that's.
Who cares?
No, I don't care.
People were upset he was.
No,
on the
that
field.
Doesn't upset me. Just like the Steph Curry thing.
Yeah, why not? Who cares?
Sponsors, the guys that sponsor the tournament have the right. Sponsors exemptions are a thing. John Daly still gets into tournaments.
He was in that tournament.
Sponsors exemptions. It's got no point. Yeah.
I didn't invite John Daly. I think John Daly made the cut as well. We'll see him soon at the Open Championship, where he'll be the leader after 3 holes, and people will be like, "Oh my God, John Daly's gonna win!" And then he'll shoot +10. Last guy I mentioned, Kokrak. The other guy I wanted to mention, Grayson Murray, 125 to 1.
Strong number.
Do you think we keep getting these numbers because people hate Grayson Murray?
His talent is exponentially better than that number.
I agree.
Does he have 2 wins?
He has 1 win. Gained 7.1 strokes with approaches at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Did not play well at Honda. Did not play well at Valspar. But he couldn't really utilize his distance at those courses like he can here on some of the longer holes. So I'm very intrigued by that number. That might end up being a top 10 player or something like that, or maybe just a DraftKings play. Even with Hahn and Kokrak and those guys, they might be better top 5, top 10s. I'll wait and see. Again, I'll have the cheat sheet released on my Facebook page, but I just thought those guys were interesting. Poulter needs to win to get in after he was told that he was into the Masters. That has to suck. Then he got wiped. Was it Noren who wiped him out? Or was it Cam Smith?
It was Kisner.
Kisner.
Just pasted him. Yeah, I like Poulter.
So
I mean,
do I.
I can be hard on him, but anyone that wears his emotions the way he does, through the good, through the bad, I'll cheer for. I'm not betting him to win tournaments, but I like to see him in the tournaments. And why, like, I get it's convoluted, the process of the points and all that thing, but Golf Channel should be better at that.
Yeah, the European Tour was all over it.
I'm just saying that they should be best. Should be better. And I don't know, are they just going off of like the guy's Twitter we all follow?
I think
who
so.
Seems to be doing it out of his own like volition and accord, and if he makes a mistake, he's entitled to. But they're not. Especially when the stakes are so high when it's coming from them.
I don't know. I don't even quite understand how world golf ranking points work.
It's real disappointing.
Grayson, third in proximity from beyond 200 yards as well over the past 24 rounds.
He's 125 to 1.
Yeah.
I would take the outright. Screw the top 5.
Oh, maybe I'll just bet it as an each way. I'll get both. Anyone else we have here? Lee Westwood's in this field trying to get into the Masters. He's only
shame.
8 losses in a major away from breaking the all-time record. Jay Haas is the current leader.
But he'll get in the other majors. He just can't get into this one, right?
I don't think he's in any of the majors. Why would he be in the majors?
I don't know, career money or anything like that?
That doesn't... Listen, if Tiger doesn't qualify for the U.S. Open next year, he's not in. He'll be in because they'll invite him and give him a special exemption, but his eligibility at the U.S. Open is out. So if Tiger's is out, I don't think Lee Westwood's doing much. Yeah. He's at 79 consecutive starts at a major without a win. Fun time to be Lee Westwood. Martin Keimer's back for the first time since a wrist injury.
He was at he
was at Honda, withdrew in the first round after shooting 5 over with a wrist injury. He's 90 to 1 in this field. I don't have a whole lot of interest, but I'd like to see if he's healthy or not.
Because you'd bet him at the Masters?
No, I just want to see if he's healthy. Bet with the Players or something. He just has not been playing in North America much.
How many people in this field you say were in the Masters?
I believe it's 16. It's in my column, so I could probably just go check that out. Or you can go check it out on DK Playbook, but I can bring it up right now.
No, I'll hook you a link.
There's someone else too. It's all in the column, which I wrote earlier this morning, and now my brain is fried and I can't really remember it.
How about Shez at 75 to 1?
I feel like the Shez Reavie run is over. It's like the Chess and Hadley run.
I never.
It happened. They missed their spot.
Yeah, he missed it, right? Is that what it feels like Graham Dillette a few years ago?
Yeah, like you had your
just
run.
like
He was close, and then it's over. It's over.
Although he played some great. He when on day 2 of match play, he outthorned Rahm.
Bill Haas needs to get into the Masters too.
Do you have?
JB Holmes needs to get into the Masters.
Do you feel like people are sleeping on Rahm going into the Masters?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
He has not been playing well. Since he won, he has not played well.
And what do you think about Dustin? It's like, what do you think about the number 1 player in the world?
There's going to be a DraftKings PDF that comes out, which people can buy, that has a whole bunch of really cool stats in it. And I provided my power rankings for the Masters.
I mean, WD 4th, 6th place, right? That's what.
Yeah, and it wasn't even really a WD. He never teed off, but he's 3rd in my power rankings.
Well, you had Spieth 1. I saw you tweeted that.
Yeah, I had Spieth 1. The hell did I put number 2?
Tiger.
Maybe Bubba.
Could be.
No, it was Rose.
Rory?
Rose.
Okay, yeah.
It was Spieth, Rose, Dustin, Sergio, someone. I had Rahm down on the list. I'm sleeping on Rahm too. But that's me. Is there anyone else in this field? Keimer, Westwood, Stricker, Poulter, Scott Stallings, Johnny.
I'd rather go than
Would you rather bet Grayson Murray or Peter Uihlein at 125 to 1?
Grayson Murray.
Uihlein showed, didn't he wax Rory?
He did.
Signs of life from Peter Uihlein?
I've been waiting for that, I guess. I expected him to pop in Florida. He was horrible in Florida.
Last one we'll talk about. Sharma, 75 to 1.
Seems like a fair number.
Yeah.
Good number.
I'm not doing it, but
I mean, the guys seemed. I mean, he went 0-3. It was a hard pod. Shouldn't really have any.
He didn't get like wiped off the map.
Never.
He was like losing 2 down, 1 down.
Yeah, even Serge had to make a big comeback.
Sergio had to come back against everybody in that group.
Yeah, it was a Sergio, Xander, Fratelli. And then Fratelli, they were playing 0-2, and Fratelli being the longhorn. Kind of just wanted it more. What do you think?
He willed his way to victory?
Yeah, it was still a 1-hole match, though. Like, I think it was a 1-hole. I don't mind it. It's not for me. Like, at 75-1, you can bet Snedeker.
Yeah. I'll probably do that instead. All right, let's get to the picks. I am in on Luke List at 30-1. I am in on Byung-Hun An at 40-1. Keegan Bradley at 66. And Sung Kang at 175 with the each way. And William McGirt 110 with the each way. So not a big card for me. Like, those aren't big bets on the 175.
Yeah, List and Finau.
You're doing both?
Can't quit
I might have to
that
do
shit.
both too.
I just can't quit that shit. I'm going to really look into Ann. I could see Ann or Rafa.
You're getting a much better number on it. And I think as it plays out that you're going to see people bet. Like, I don't have the bet in on yet. I think it might fall.
I would hope so, but again, he went off so short at some of those other events that I thought he should have been like 20 points higher. So I don't have that great of a feel. I think it also works for your boy Lovemark here, Pat.
Okay.
List, Finau, Lovemark. I'm going to tail that Grayson Murray. I like where you're at with James. I like James Hahn.
I mean, I'm not committing to those guys yet. Again, you can find my picks cheat sheet up on my Facebook page on Wednesday afternoon. Yeah. That's when first round leaders, head-to-heads, anything that is kind of like from that week, I'll get in on. But those are the names.
We got Corey Connors first round leader.
I mean, the first round leader odds aren't out yet, but once they are, I will bet that with the T5 each way. Yeah. It's been my most profitable bet all year long. And I think the only first round leader I've actually hit is Kirk, who split it with ZJ at Sony. But I think it's like 5 consecutive weeks I've had someone inside the top 5, and it pays for the week plus a little bit more.
It's awesome.
Nothing wrong with that.
Great. And you had Bubba and all the one and dones last week, man.
One and done picks of the week. Yes, $1.7 million into my one and done.
Is that more than the Masters?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
It was a good one to get, and not a lot of people had Bubba, which was nice.
Not at all.
And on my other team, I had Hatton, who got out of the group stage, so he got a decent chunk too. But it vaulted me up from like 900th to 130th or something like that, and I'm actually in contention to win this segment of it too. So I'm taking Luke List as my one and done.
I might copy that in the actual pool, but for the purposes of entertainment here,
you take your boy Fratelli. You're big on Fratelli. Dylon.
No,
the greatest golfer of all time.
No, because I like to actually use guys that I'm going to bet.
But you want to bet him. I thought you were betting him.
He hasn't even shown up on some of my books yet. So we got to just chill there. Now I just don't know.
Did you say List was down to 20-1 on Will Hill?
Will Hill had Luke List before we recorded at 20-1. I don't know if someone went in there and dropped a brick.
He was 30 everywhere else.
Yeah. Someone must have gone, yeah. Phil Mickelson, then Luke List. Your hand thing is tempting. I probably already used Finau. That's the problem. I'm looking at all these guys.
I don't remember who I've used either.
I've probably used Finau. Sure, for you, why not? For Telly.
Dyla. How upset are you going to be when he wins now? And all you do is get your fictional one and done money, and you probably won't even use them in the real one and done.
I won't. But now I'm tempted to think I might have to bet him. But also, if he's not in, I'll have to change that.
Pull the Cam. Like when I used to walk into fantasy and Cam would be on his computer like Thursday morning. Like, you know how you highlight the players that you bet? I usually have like 6 or 7 guys.
I know where this is going.
I'm really paying attention to. Cam puts like $1 on like... He'd open up his thing.
It's like 14. It's more than 14.
It's like 30. 20, it's like 30 people on a screen. It's like, what is this?
Or his leaderboard. Like I'm walking by. Let me get a fresh leaderboard look, and it's like the full page of his starred guys. Yeah, and a lot of the okay, sure, there's a couple like top guys, but most of them, you're right, are like the 300-1. Like
just all of them. They're all on the sheet.
I love that guy.
Trying to work something out with him. I got to get a hold of him.
Well, I love that guy.
Everyone loves Cam. Cam's great.
Yeah.
Anything to
My
add?
buddy saw him just loitering around Liberty.
Just drinking a Diet Coke?
He was just so, but he was like messaging me so happy. I'm like, go say hi. He's like, no. I don't know. Cam would be so happy. Yeah, I got now again. I want to sort of like stay in a lane
Low key here,
because
yeah.
it's like it's that time.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. Granted, maybe it was because you blessed me with your Bubba call, but just like a special like feel like Masters kind of like tingle.
You got the rush?
Yeah. Easy to get out of bed.
We'll save
on
that
the
rush
Monday.
because you're going to be back on Friday with our picks for the Masters.
It's easy.
And if you do want to get into the DraftKings Millionaire Maker and you don't want to have to pay all the $20 yourself, use the hashtag DKShell. Tweet it to me. Take a screenshot of you reviewing the podcast, The Pat Mayo Experience, on any of the platforms. And YouTube does not count for that. It's the podcast version. So when you just write a comment underneath the video, be like, oh, I did it! You didn't do it. Fuck off. And then on Facebook, you can just give it a like and send and screenshot that. Hashtag DKShell, leave your DraftKings name in it, and boom, you're in the draw. I'll try to give away 3, 4, 5, however many they'll let me give away. I'll try to give them away. All right? Plus, you can check out my Twitter feed, too, for all the Masters content that's coming up. DraftKings show tomorrow. That's Tuesday with Jeff Bergerson of FantasyGolfInsider.com. And then it's all Masters from that point on. So, we got something to say.
I just want to know, is there a way maybe like someone has mentioned multiple times, get like a GoFundMe to just keep Tim away from the Masters?
He won't do it, though. He can't help himself. Yeah. He doesn't need the money.
You're right.
He'd rather just have people be upset with him online.
Especially Tiger, though. Is he really going to do that?
He's saying but we know why he's doing it.
Okay. I know.
So I don't know if it will actually work.
This thing with the Starburst, that's real?
Apparently so.
Because this is like, that's a point where a lot of people who believed in Tim like being genuine are now like, this is a straight act.
If you've listened to any Tim food takes in the past, this really shouldn't surprise you that he thinks that yellow is the best Starburst.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Did you not see it, Paul?
I did.
Oh, it's an awful ranking of Starburst.
It was a picture ranking too.
Yeah.
It was one of his first ever photo ranks.
He was at, I talked to my friends after, he was at a party and there was Starburst. Was he fucking Rain Man? Oh, I gotta put these in sequential order and rank them and then tweet it out.
Tweet them! Tim at a party!
And apparently people at the party were yelling at him because of the rankings. Wherever we go, like when I go home and like we go out to like a place with a whole bunch of people spend the entire night bringing up stuff Tim has ranked and yelling at him about it.
At a party.
And then we have our other friend who does, he likes to smoke weed, but instead of like rolling joints now, he does this thing where he puts the weed on like tin foil and then puts a lighter underneath of it. I was like, it looks like
he's freebasing.
It looks like he's smoking crack.
Okay, he just got like a billy stick.
Wait, I had people over to my place at Christmas time, and he's in like the middle of the living room, like a piece of tin. Like, the fuck are you doing,
But then
man?
what, you like inhale? Like, well,
I told him to get the fuck out. Like, you need to go on like the deck and go do that, or like go to the other side of the road or something. Man.
No,
Like,
but
get this away from me.
So how do you go about and inhale? Like,
I
you
don't
just
know.
like
I wouldn't let him finish.
fair.
It's basically the same premise as hot knives, apparently, the way that he was describing it for me. So it was the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. Anyway, get in the contest. Masters coming up. Episode alike. That'll do it. I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck with the Shell Houston Open. I'll see you next time.